Hi friends, it's me, it's Emily. I know, you all thought there's no way she's gonna do a second video because she just does not follow through. And that's true. I don't follow through, but I am, look, second video, do 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 do. Couple things. A few friends that make their own videos watched mine and gave me some pointers, tips. They said I should put the camera a little bit higher because I was getting shadows under my eyes. Wasn't sure how to do that without fancy gear. So my camera is currently in the cleavage of the corset that's on my, what is it called? The body form. Oh, I'm losing my brains. I told you I'm not going to edit, guys. You know, the body form that you do clothes on, that you do clothes on. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so the body form that I have is just a Dritz, I think is how it is, D-R-I-T-Z. It's old, it's broken, it's a regular sized one, so all the proportions have been totally maxed out, and I had to pad around the waist, and I had to shove stuff in around the boobs, and so I'm in desperate need of something new. Have a couple of ideas, but that's a someday thing. And I have a corset around it. And so my phone is tucked into the cleavage of the corset, all propped up, and hopefully will stay there and not fall over as it has been doing the past 10 minutes. So rest assured knowing that you are comfortably cradled in the bosom of my dressmaking mannequin. A couple of other pointers I was given is background music. Being very new to this, I'm not really sure how to do that. I mean, I could ask my Alexa to play something in the background, I guess, but I know that there's like copyright things and stuff, and I haven't figured that out. So for now, you can listen to the gentle lull of the trains going by my house, assuming you can even hear that. Oftentimes during the day, I hear just soft rumblings of trains. My husband doesn't really like it, but I kind of do. I find it weirdly soothing because they're not super close, the tracks, but they're close enough that you get that kind of that low grade rumble. I was not going to talk about this at all. I remembered notes this time. It's funny. A friend who watched my first video said, you know, you only have like 8 followers or something. And I was like, I have 8? Oh my gosh, who joined? Did they leave a comment? Who are they? And I like rushed to my phone and I'm like, who is it? And she was like, are you crazy? Because she has 50 million followers. Not 50 million. I don't know. She has so many that she like doesn't answer the comments or anything because it would take her forever. And I was just, I don't know. I was like, yay, one more person likes me. So I'm good with my 8 people. I'm good with you. I'm good with you, my friend. Thank you for joining me. So I've been working on an 1890s cycling sweater. Now, in the 1890s, these sweaters were really popular for the women, when they're going outside to do any type of kind of more strenuous activity, where probably the confines of the bodice would keep them from feeling as comfortable doing the activity. And these sweaters had big puff sleeves that then tapered around the elbow or just below the elbow, and then were form-fitting to the wrist. And then the rest, it had a collar that came up. It was usually buttoned on one or both sides so that helped them get in because, protect the hair. And then it was form-fitting from there. If you follow my Instagram, I posted a couple days ago some examples of those, as well as some ladies who one did a tutorial on how to kind of pattern your own if you don't knit out of knit materials. And the other one has a pattern that she created from these extant examples that you can buy on Ravelry, the website. So I found this gorgeous, gorgeous teal knit material that I was just like, teal, love me some teal. And I used some sweaters that I have that have about the same, I tested them to make sure they had about the same give as this, and used them to kind of form a pattern for myself and cut out my base. So this is my base for my sweater, and it's super long. So I'm not sure how it ended up so long. This is what happens when I do things. There are issues and mistakes. So we'll see how it looks. Maybe I may have to do some adjustating. I tried to preserve this lovely edging that was already on it to put on the bottom of my sweater. And I don't know. I think I'll be pretty good. Now, you may be asking yourselves, why? Emily, why? So I guess not yourselves, me. You're asking me. Yeah. Why does it take you so long to get sewing projects done? Well, part of that is because I am an adult student. So awful. If I could give any advice to high school students, it would be, if you're going to go to college, do it now. Like, when you get out of high school, go to college, do the time, put the work in, keep your fun to a minimum so you're at least passing your classes, and just get it done now. Because when you're in your early 20s, I feel like your capacity to memorize things and to work all night long and not sleep and then go to class the next morning and you're perfectly fine. I just feel like you're so much better able to be the type of student you need to be for college. And so now, years later, I'm getting my bachelor's degree, and I am, this is my second to last semester. And you guys, I've been in college forever because I keep starting and stopping and starting and stopping because life happens, or poor happens, or I don't know, things happen. And plus my major changed like 50,000 times. I started off out of high school as a music major with a vocal music major with an emphasis in opera and a minor in musical theater. And had a full ride scholarship, all that fun stuff. And then I met a boy. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Another thing I would tell high school students, do not let boys keep you from finishing college, because boys, man. Boys. They just, they're so distracting. Anyways, and that's why I've stopped and started college a couple of times. I mean, I can say it was money and it was, I moved so often in my life, but really it was boys. Yeah. It was boys. Some good memories, but still would have been so much more useful to have gotten my degree. Though that music degree changed into an English degree, into, let's see, it was doing a business degree at one point. I was doing a theater degree in to be a director at one point. I was, and right now, since you may ask, I am doing a psychology degree with an emphasis in marriage and family, because I basically want to be a relationship counselor at some point in time. So that was a weird segue, or not segue. That was not a segue. It was a tangent. Ha ha! Can't wait to tell the handsome hubby that I remembered the word. It is tangent. Tangent! I'm not going to remember it later. So I'm going to actually have to watch this video to remember this word so I can tell him I remembered it. The next step is working on the sleeves for the sweater. And I'm kind of mishmashing my sleeve. I have a huge sleeve pattern. So in 1895 is one of my favorite years. It spans from like 1893 to like 1897. But 1895 right in the center is like the ba-boom time when everything went big. Huge puffed sleeves, big wide foofy skirts. I mean, just bam, and for girls like me who have some extra, those big puff sleeves and those big wide skirts bring your waist in like this, and your silhouette just looks amazing. Also, for you Anne of Green Gables fans, you might be interested to note that Anne of Green Gables starts off around this time period when puffed sleeves became the fashion. And that's why she was so desperate for puffed sleeves, because that was the big thing that women wore. Now, her puffed sleeves are in the movie. Obviously, I'm referring to the one with Megan Follows, because that is like canon for me. It's just the most amazing thing ever. And Megan Follows can do no wrong, and I love it. Now, I did like Anne with an E that I believe Netflix did recently. I did like it. But because it didn't quite stay true to the books, and the Megan Follows version does a much better job of staying true to the books. And plus, I grew up with the Megan Follows version. That one's just in my heart. I mean, I watch that one probably twice a year. The whole thing. Now, the last one that they did several years later, where like Anne's a writer and Gilbert goes off to war and stuff, that one totally deters from the books. So I watch it because you get to see your favorite characters again. But I watch it with like a grain of salt. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, so I have a sleeve pattern from Truly Victorian, which is Victorian patterns that I highly recommend. Go look them up. Anyway, and it's got the big puff sleeve, often called the mutton chop, because like mutton chops or, well, I can't think of any other meats right now. Anyway, have the big end and then it goes narrow where the bone is. has the big poof and then it goes down narrow. So I'm kind of using a combination of that and a sleeve from a sweater. Here, let me grab this, that I have, that kind of does the same silhouette. This one though, this narrow portion starts like further down on the arm, and I need it to start up here. So anyway, but this one also has this big balloon that just needs to be rounded out a little bit. So I'm kind of combining those two to create my sleeves. And I haven't really decided about the neck yet. Like many, ooh, hair, go away. Like many plus-sized women, I'm not thrilled with the way I look when I have clothing items that come all the way up on the neck. I don't wear turtlenecks. I don't wear things up around my neck. Plus, even in my younger years when I was smaller, I never liked clothes that came right up to the neck. I never wore turtlenecks then, and I was a lot tinier in my smaller years. I never wore turtlenecks or shirts that came right up to here. I always liked collars that opened up and gave some room. So I'm not thrilled about the idea of that sweater color. I have seen an extant example that I'm desperately trying to find again. And I have seen 2 remakes that historical costumers have done where the collar was kind of rounded down a little bit. Kind of not slouched, but on the extent, it kind of rounded down a little bit and didn't have the buttoning on the sides. So if you know what extant photo I'm talking about, please talk to me about that. After this project, which hopefully will be done by this weekend, fingers crossed because I have a lot of homework, I'm trying to decide. I was going to work on my Bridgerton project because Bridgerton, you guys, Bridgerton, and season 2 is coming. Are you so excited? Bridgerton's just, ugh. So the first time I saw Bridgerton, the first episode or so, I was like, this is beautiful and this is so inaccurate, because I'm looking at these clothes and I'm like, okay, a lot of the silhouettes are right, but these fabrics are ridiculous. I mean, the fabrics and the color, especially the Featheringtons. Oh my gosh. Oh, and then all this hair down. What is with the hair down? You guys, women stopped wearing their hair down in like, I'm not going to get this 100% right, but I think it was like the 1400s that they stopped wearing their hair down. Like as soon as a young girl became a woman, she started wearing her hair up in whatever the up hairstyles of the day were. But Elizabethan period, hair up, you know, the 1600s, they had the big poofs and curls on the sides with the hair up. The 1700s, Marie Antoinette's, you know, famous era, you know, the big styled high hair up. I mean, yeah, every now and then there'd be like some curls coming down the side or something, but hair up. Oh, and if you're here moaning or groaning, it's George, my dog. He is in his kennel right now because he is sick and there's some issues with what he's been doing all over the house. And in his kennel, I can contain it and pull him out and clean and put him back in. Okay, that's gross. I'm not going into that, but he's my baby and he's really upset and it's breaking my heart over here because I can hear him whining and groaning. But anyways, and then the 1800s, I mean, Regency era, hair up and pulled in the back with the curls, and then, you know, through the Victorian eras, hair up. Hair is always up, you guys. Hair up. I mean, I don't think we actually see hair starting to come down until like the 1930s, where it starts to become more and more of a regular thing. And it just, so, you know, you watch, you know, especially Daphne, Bridgerton, who wears her hair down to like balls. And I'm like, Daphne, what are you doing? Why? Who is the designer for why? Oh. But and this is a problem that happens with historical costumers, is we basically have learned too much, or not too much, there's no such thing, so much about history and like fashion and hair and accessories and everything, that when we go to watch shows and movies and stuff, we just nitpick every little thing. Oh, the hair. Oh, that's not right. Oh, that's not right. Oh my gosh, did I just see a zipper? And I've kind of been training myself to just kind of tell myself, this is fantasy. This is alternate reality. This is not your history. So I had to place Bridgerton like in a whole different like place from history, because it's not history. It's not. And now I love it. Oh my gosh, the Featheringtons. I'm such a Featherington, you guys. I relate to so many characters in this show. I really do. And so I really want to make, you know, my Bridgerton's outfit. I have made one. I have a Penelope cosplay that I have yet to wear and yet to dress up in. And I really just want to put it on and frolic. But I have some other ideas that I'd really like to do too. And so that was going to kind of maybe be next on my list. And then the 18th century bug bit me. I don't know. I've been afraid of the 18th century. The Sac Gowns. I'm not going to say the actual name of them because I'm terrified of how wrong I'll say it. Okay, I'm going to try. It's like the robe à la française. Okay, I can say it in my head, just not out loud. But they're often known as the Sac Gowns. And they're those beautiful gowns that have the pleating in the back that goes down the whole length of the dress. And it just flows into the bottom of the dress, and if there's a train, into the train. And it's just this elegant look. And then they have the big panniers and, you know, and the decoration, and they just look so elegant. And the only 18th century dresses I have is I have a working class outfit I've made with very small padded panniers and teal skirt and jacket. And then I posted on Instagram a picture of me in this beautiful floral dress that I had borrowed from my friend, Lady Rebecca Fashions, for a 18th century tea that we all went to tea dressed up in 18th century, a group of us. And I wanted something pretty to wear, and I didn't feel like my working woman's clothes next to my friend's beautiful outfits was good enough. So she lent that to me, and I actually ended up buying it from her. It's funny, during the whole event, I loved dancing around in it and getting pictures and swirling, and I just felt so pretty. And so I was going to ask her, because she had told me when she lent it to me that didn't fit her anymore. I was going to ask her if she considered selling it to me. Well, when I was getting into her car, I shut the skirt in the door and did not notice that. It's like the worst thing you can do as a costumer. Okay, no, it's not. Using your fabric scissors to cut like plastic or something, that's the worst thing you can do. But it was pretty bad. You know better. You sweep your skirts in. You know better. I don't know what was wrong with me. So when we got to her house, there on the back of the skirt, along the back of the skirt and the trim, there's this black, dirty, and then 2 holes that had ripped. And I was mortified. I was so upset. And so I told her, I said, let me buy this from you. You know, you said it doesn't fit you anymore. Let me buy it from you, and I will try to fix it myself. And so she sold it to me, and I've kind of fixed it up. But I haven't worn it since I fixed it up. And I need to. I need a frolic in that. It's so pretty. Anyways, I want to make a huge 18th century dress. Just like big and overdone and super fancy and just like, whoa! I just have this urge. And I have this fabric that I bought. So if you, oh, it's really heavy. I'll grab it in a second. If you follow my Instagram, or if you follow my Instagram, you know that I used to do Ren fairs. I used, for 9 years, actually, I did Queen Elizabeth I at Renaissance fairs in Utah, Idaho, and Colorado even. And it was so much fun. And sometimes I miss it terribly. And we had this huge tent that looked kind of like a castle. It was amazing. I sometimes regret selling that thing, but where in the world were we going to put it? Because we moved. We used to live in Utah. We moved to Washington State, where I am now, and I love it. Anyway, I bought this fabric to make background curtains in the tent. Can you see that? I bought a lot of it. There's so much here. And it's kind of this brocade. It's the same, but in reverse colors on the other side. So I'd have to kind of decide if I like the tan with the cream design on it, or if I like cream with the tan design on it. If you have an opinion, please let me know. But it's fairly lightweight. I call it a medium, maybe even slightly lighter than a medium type of brocade. And I know that it's not 100% like historically accurate, but because I've never made one of these dresses before, and because I want to make a huge one, and because this is what is in my stash, I kind of want to use it. Now, when I say I have a lot of it, I mean I have a lot of it, plus it's very wide. So, yeah, it gets heavy. So I've been staring at that thinking, I should make something out of that. First of all, it would get it out of my stash. It takes up a lot of room. And second of all, I should make something out of that. So I'm thinking, maybe. I'm thinking about it. Maybe. I'm not sure about sharing like the rest of my sewing ideas for 2022 because they have been changing on a daily, sometimes hourly basis. But as I cement them in place, I will definitely share them. There's a bunch of time periods that I don't have. That I really don't have, or I don't really have good options for. That I made things back when I understood sewing even less than I do now, as hard as it is to believe. And I know I can do better. I know they can look better. Or I just never got around to sewing that time period, or never had the cause. Like there was never an event or anyone else who wanted to dress up in that time period. And I am very social with my costuming. I love, love, love to make something for an event. That's why I'm constantly saying, hey, let's go to tea, friends. Oh, and should we dress up in a time period? Oh, let's have an outdoor picnic. And should we make it like a dress-up picnic based on a specific time period? And I've been really blessed with friends since moving to Washington that have been more than happy to oblige my let's dress up from a time period and do stuff together and run amok proclivities. So I'm very grateful. I feel a lot of gratitude for them. I think I'm going to end here. Again, still figuring out what I'm doing, but yeah, not really a sewing